Pusha T should be on the greatest 50 rappers of all time list?
Ow! What has he done? What has he done that puts him in the greatest rappers of all time besides talk about that he probably didn't get? I mean, that would be no Jim Jones if it wasn't for them guys.
1 hour later.
And it's good to hear you give Mase his flowers.
I ain't giving no flowers. I love to hate because I'm a hater myself.
This statement clearly explains why Jim Jones has recently experienced a downward spiral. It wasn't merely a performance when Pusha T and that camera met eyes. It was taking souls.
From the spirit of repossession. Too much enamel covers your necklace. I buy bitches, you buy them sections. You buy watches, I buy collections.
That man aimed every bar like a spiritual eviction notice and delved deeply into Jim's life. Then followed the rudeness that caused backflips on the internet. Jim is fleeing the spirit of repossession, according to Pusha.
Oh man. Okay. It's
what they want.
His crib was literally seized by an entire bank. It's not just personal, you know? That shade is biblical. It's if you were in the front row of Jim's public humiliation party. Mase appeared with popcorn in hand, just as things were becoming too brutal.
Fan, you begged us. You are a fan, a fan.
Pause though. Get off my.
Jim continues to act as though he hasn't caught the L. My guy makes a freestyle comeback instead of sitting down, hurling subliminals at Mase and Pusha T on Instagram as if he still has energy. Let's face it though, Jim has been being educated by Mase and Cameron for decades, and this time is no exception. Let's dissect it. With their meticulously prepared act for the Let God Sort Them Out album release, Pusha and Malice arrived on Tiny Desk and shut it down. And while I hum, everyone is still talking about that time.
I hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it. It seems to be valor amongst veterans. I'm watching your fame escape relevance. We all in a room, but here's the elephant. There's no tombstones in the desert. I know by now you get the message. Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains.
Kendrick Lamar is featured in that joint, Chains and Whips. It was more than simply a show. The assassination was poetic. You witnessed it firsthand if you watched the brief desk film and the brilliant lyric breakdown. Pusha didn't flinch, smirk, or blink once. Like a hitman reading a contract, he delivered those bars. Cameras didn't matter to him. That was a direct warning to Jim's pride. And he said, "This isn't rap," letting his smile go just enough. It's intimate.
For you, where does Drake stand in hip-hop history, you know?
I would say he's the greatest of all time.
Additionally, the bars are exact, ruthless, and surgical. That lyric was handled by Pusha T as though it were a court summons. To be honest though, Jim caused all of this. He was not coerced into starting a poetic spat with Pusha. He acted in that way out of his devotion to Drake. He is currently discovering the consequences of barking up the wrong poetic tree. Let's discuss Chains and Whips' straight-up surgical bar. "We're all in the room, but here's the elephant," says Pusha T, icily. "You are pursuing a feature that is outside of your expertise." It was more than simply a clever phrase. The target of it was Jim Jones's jugular. He essentially called Jim out for circling Drake and pleading for a feature like a starving artist who has lost all self-respect. And the most bizarre aspect.
Along the 5 Pusha T records right now, his records.
Yes.
Name
I love Pusha. Nostalgia.
Oh, he was a Pusha T fan. He's like, I didn't know he had fans like that. Can you name 5 Pusha T records? No, his records.
See, but
no, can you? No, can you rap to 5 Pusha?
I can't rap 5. No,
all right, can you rap to 5? Wait. Can you rap? If 5 Pusha T records, not the records he's featured on, if 5 Pusha T records came on right now, could you rap them?
You could rap 5 Pusha T records?
Yeah.
No, could you could you rap 5 Pusha T records right now if they started playing?
What do you mean rap? Like the hook? Like just like
Cause you sing them. You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that. But
top 50.
you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like I didn't never want to be like Pusha. I never had a Pusha moment in my life. I never thought like you dig. Like where I'm from, want to be like you if you was really that dude and that rapper and things
Wayne
like that.
wanted to be like Pusha. He was influenced by Pusha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why Pusha did the Mr. Me Too record.
Okay, cool. You a very strong Pusha T fan. Nigga, you is nowhere near the top 50. You top 950.
Jim sort of validated him. You see, ever since this feud erupted, Jim has been a fierce advocate for Drake to show his devotion. He suddenly transformed into Drake's personal pit bull and began barking at Pusha T nonstop. All of this became apparent when Pusha was ranked number 29 on Billboard's list of the top 50 best rappers of all time. And Jim went crazy. He said Pusha don't even belong on the list. When he arrived at the Breakfast Club, he yelled not. Even in the top 50, as if he had forgotten that Pusha already dominated half of the business. Then, claiming that Pusha T hasn't contributed anything significant to the culture, he doubled down on rap caviar once again. Like what? But, you know, what?
T should be on the greatest 50 rappers of all time list?
How? What has he
What?
done? What has he done that puts him in the greatest rappers of all time besides talk about that he probably didn't kiss? What has he done? Nobody has dressed like him. Nobody wants to be like Pusha T. No, I don't remember nothing. And let's not be evil, but we don't talk about rap where that's popping the want to be like. I don't know too many in this game that was leaning towards being like Pusha T. I don't know no records they play in the club or Pusha T. They don't play outside. NBA Youngboy before Pusha T.
That's wild, Jim. That's
NBA Youngboy before
that's
Pusha
crazy.
T?
That's crazy. What do you?
What?
Nah, Jim just trying to get everybody mad.
Pusha T around out here. You heard?
Jim trying to get everybody mad. That Jim's. look at him. Look at him.
But that's what I'm trying. That's how I feel about.
Pusha has no intention of alternating between interviews. Rather, he sang a song to Jim and let the bars speak for themselves. Jim was unable to remain still, as expected. He responded with a freestyle clap. However, this is the turn of events that has everyone staring at Jim. 2 years ago, that freestyle was recorded. Yes, Clips was walking a Louis Vuitton runway to the beat of Chains and Whips when it initially surfaced. The very following day, Jim hurried out a freestyle after, somehow getting his hands on the rhythm, as if he had already begun preparing for meat. Additionally, that tiny desk clip went viral. Jim took that old freestyle out of the vault and shared it on Instagram along with a humorous message. I believed we had previously discussed this. Will require a larger desk. That one was too little. Petty. Indeed, successful. Not at all. Because it appears like Jim is currently using rehashed punches to battle a lyrical heavyweight. This quickly became surgical, man. Throw down bars like a contract hit, and Pusha T. Jim Jones is still attempting to pretend that he was unaware of the smoke. One of Pusha's most icy statements. I don't tell stories. A live liver is what I am. Additionally, I still consider your brother a buddy. Funny, yes, there was more than simply shade. It was a sentence disguised as an uppercut. This is where it becomes much more awkward, though.
Shit was trash, we gon' let them get a do-over. They got you gas, you must think that you the new Hover. You a 4.0, I jumped in a new Rover. Your brother still jumping in bed and you tell him move over. These two roads don't know what to do on no raid. Kanye gave you whips, but that's what they do to this.
Look through Jim's Instagram posts, comments. He is being roasted like Sunday food by his own fans. Someone said that you re-uploaded a disc from the previous year since you were so triggered and smoked.
How you doing, man? Yeah, plate. Oh, what's happening? Oh man, crazy man. All right. Oh man. Okay.
It's what they want.
Another fell. Boasting about the enamel on your chains, he remarked. However, the one that had people yelling was envy that had developed into obsession. Man, give it up. You're getting there. And that just applies to the online community. Because once Mase and Cam became involved, well, it was over.
I watched Mase on Cam and everybody around him.
Wow.
A bitch like all the time. You heard? Like I was there the whole time, but I was Cam's man. You heard? Is that I wasn't there for every single thing. Everybody Cam didn't like, I didn't like. And I already see how he was handling Cam, so I definitely didn't like him. You dig? And then I seen how much love Cam had for him and how Cam was jumping out the window for him, which a friend should. Like that, like being overprotective, making sure nothing happened. Like he was trying his best to make sure that Mase stayed as safe as possible, but Mase had got that money and lost his mind.
You see, Cameron and Mase have been anticipating this moment as if it were a pay-per-view event. They have been history with Jim. They thus made sure to provide popcorn when Jim began to falter once more. Mase's laugh too. It wasn't your typical chuckle. That was a certified case of vengeance laughing in Harlem. Let's reclaim it. Jim, Mase, and Cam all grew up in Harlem, or so Jim claims. They were all members of the early rap group Children of the Corn in the 1990s.
On a diet, he needed to get his life together. He needed to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back, nigga looked big around the neck, waist looked crazy. I'm body shaming his. You heard? He needed to go get his shit together, get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me. He going.
Maze and signing with Bad Boy. However, Jim said that May changed after the funds were received. He said that May began behaving slick, acting funny, and separating himself from the crew members who assisted him in boarding. Jim even mentioned it unrespectfully Justin earlier this year, claiming to have witnessed Mase disparaging Cam after exploding. At that point, the respect vanished. Cam was working hard while Mase was hanging out with Diddy and avoiding ministry. When he at last started to shine, he dragged Jim along and the two of them created Dipset.
He was your man, like on the side, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all. Right. So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mase be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one. Mm-hmm. And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch to see how he responds. And then you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. Give me that, get me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yo, but that was one of those things I just threw it out.
Mase, however, had a convoluted journey. Stepped back into the booth, switching between bars and Bible passages like a light switch. After leaving rap to become a preacher, that wasn't how Jim felt. He called Mase out, claiming that he was all about convenience and power and only returned to rap when things were better. Without a question, Mase and Cam had their arguments throughout the years. However, they stunned everyone and put an end to it in 2022. They then collaborated on It Is What It Is, their viral sports program. Jim was as irritable as ever after that reconnection. His jealousy was nearly visible, and it was evident. Man began insulting Mase, acting carelessly during interviews, and even making fun of his appearance by claiming that he needed to follow a diet. However, Mase and Cam played chess rather than checkers. How did they respond then? 1,000 petty level, they immediately asked 50 Cent, Jim's long-standing enemy, to appear on their show. Additionally, you are well aware of how messy Convo was. When Jim unexpectedly showed up backstage at a 50 Cent performance in 2007, Cam immediately demanded Mase explain why. It's at the time of Dipset and Gune's intense feud.
They got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them in their life. You heard? Both of them. Pause though. Get off my dick. There's only space on there for baby girl, man. Come on, man. Tugging on my shit like that.
Cam understood precisely what he was doing when he dropped the inquiry. He appeared to have thrown up in a loop in anticipation of 50 Cent making a slam, and the man gave it a hard smack. It was a moment of pure Harlem gloom and setup. 50 didn't let us down either. It clowned Jim so hard that you could almost hear the rim breaking.
I created the aesthetic.
Okay.
For the diplomats. You heard? Dan the Cam's pink. You heard? Hit up.
Nah.
All right. Sooner or later, he gonna have to tell it. Where he got the pink from.
Naturally, Jimmy was powerless to stop himself. Like a fish on a hook, he fell for the bait. The next thing you know, he's on Respectfully Justin. It's complaining about how 50 and Cam even dared to mention his name. Jim sounded tight, accusing them both of owing him large favors and attempting to portray him as having no bearing on their professional success. Then Jim became extremely audacious, like a brazen, deluded person, claiming to be the creative force behind the whole style of Dipset. He leaped out the window. Yes, he claimed to have been the inspiration behind Cam's whole ensemble, including that recognizable pink fur coat. Now, come on. Cam wasn't going to put up with that type of crap, you know? Returning immediately to the program, Cam ripped Jim's entire Dipset origin tale to shreds. He stated unequivocally that Jimmy wasn't in any trouble with him. Was not. One of Dipset's founding fathers, and he most certainly wasn't the style architect he believes he was. Cam claims that Jim arrived late. He wasn't the first day. Jim, he claimed, was never the core and was essentially a spectator on the sidelines, who was later lured in.
You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. I did not grow up with you. Contrary to what you believe, I did not grow up with you. You are from the Bronx. Did your grandmother live? Did your grandmother live in Harlem? Yes. Did you come see her? Yes. Did I see you time to time? Yes. I did not grow up with you.
Cam wasn't finished either. Jim quickly shut it down when he attempted to brag about how he saw Mase sonning Cam in the Bad Boy days. Jim wasn't even there, he said. He was really explicit about it. Children of the Corn was already causing a stir in Harlem by the time Jimmy began to appear. Together with Jim,
Mase, myself, Big Al, even though Mase and Big Al on the same page, Bloodshed, my man Herb McGruff, we were super duper popping in the street prior to the internet. Everybody knew we was about to get a record deal. Everybody knew this, nigga. It wasn't no secret. Basically, you heard our freestyles and you came up to me one day when I was chilling in front of the house, you said, and this word to my dead mother, yo, man, I heard the freestyles, y'all killing it. Yo, you know my grandmother died. If y'all wanna come by and just hang out, y'all could, y'all more than welcome. You're like, all right, Jomo, thanks. It didn't really make sense at the time because we like, yo, man, where's Jomo inviting us to his house for? Even though he cool. But it didn't make sense to be going to Jomo's house. I never needed nowhere to stay. You act like your couch. You was a fan. You begged us. You are a fan.
Come on.
A fan. We didn't grow up with you. I am from 140th.
He continued to try to catch a wave. The tale of the pink fur. According to Cam, it's his heritage. The basis for Dipset. Zeke and Cam are there. With all of that nonsense about Harlem, Cam claims that Jim isn't even truly from Harlem in that sense. Conversation. Oh, but Cam wasn't done yet. Before the microphone cooled off, He dropped one more bomb. Cam stated unequivocally that Jim learned how to rap from Mase. Furthermore, he didn't say it spontaneously. He produced the receipts, which included old footage of Jim himself acknowledging it. That was the decisive blow. For example, when the originals handed you your first playbook, did you strive to emulate them?
You was so cool. And we was like, yo, Jomo's a nice guy. Mase like, yo, I think I'll teach him how to rap. Mase actually taught you how to rap. Literally. Literally. He taught you how to rap. You say it. Matter of fact, bring up the clip.
Mase helped me learn how to actually learn how to rap. Mase taught me how to rap. Mase actually showed me, he was the first person to show me how to rap. Mase actually sat me down and showed me the magic to rap.
We taught you how to rap. How you ran the whole organization. How you made Diplomat. You ain't make none of this stuff. You was a fan. I put you down.
But the best part of this whole episode, those random cuts to Mase eating a bucket of popcorn and almost choking from laughing so hard.
I didn't think it'd be a big deal because you make up with every nigga put hands on you. But I see the pattern now. If I agree to disagree with you and don't want to take it that route because they got some jank.
Interview. However, the bit that made everyone on the internet laugh. Mase is enjoying a bucket of popcorn while relaxing in the background. I'm laughing so hard that I can hardly breathe. The man was wheezing, didn't need to utter a single word, and yet caused Jim to lose it. After watching the video, Jim became enraged and slapped back, threatening to smack Ma's hands off the popcorn. That's hardly a comeback, bro. In 4K, that is just frustration boiled over. This is where the story twist lies. Jim is not going to back down. He's getting ready to bring in the heavy guns. He is reportedly working with Drake on his next album. Iceman, according to rumors, he has bars loaded and ready to go that are pointed toward Push, Mase, and Cam. Additionally, there is a single tune on that album that is hinted at as having the potential to change the entire plot. If he truly goes, along with the smoke, it would be like legacy denting.
Bad body, you look like when they be like big, fat, bad body, taco eating, stew. That's what he remind me of. Slap the popcorn out of me. Let me stop.
This is no longer just a rap feud. A full-fledged war of reputations is emerging. I appreciate you watching. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you at the following